So I am working on creating a shelter for my firewood. I have dug holes and leveled out my post. This post is 35 inches for my fence. It's going to be a green roof, so not only is the slant here and the post behind it's too tall, so I've got to take it out. Decided I needed it shorter and to the right more, and I've put a screw in each of the boards I have in the ground. To see that it's pretty level, I have braced it, measured it, and I'm going to just move it forward a little bit and raise it up just a little bit, and then I'll be putting my post setting cement in. I don't have a big enough square, so I'm making a makeshift one so that the front post and the back post match. I have both the boards measured the distance apart, check the angles, and I'm just going to let this be for a while. Once it's set, then I'll top it off with more dirt and put my foundation for my wood pile back in place. All these old silo stays will be perfect underneath to keep the wood off the ground a little bit. I've also made sure that the slant of the ground doesn't go onto my patio, so I've graded it back a little bit so it just soaks in here or goes off the roof. It'll come down and go along the edge. Any extra water off the green roof will go, hopefully not on our heads, but behind the bench, so I've set that accordingly as well. Well, I have my 2 by 8 foot treated plywood, and I have a piece of rubber that I've put on top, tacked down this piece of fabric. It's just an old piece of fabric I got it used for covering plants over the years, and doubled up. It fits about perfect, so I'll tack that down. The fabric will help keep the soil from rolling down, and it'll be locked to the board, tacked down to the board, so that the roots will grow into it and the plants will stay stable up there. I'm using some recycled boards. Some of them have some strip screws, so I'm going to take a vice grip and remove those. These construction screws are going to work great. I've got the star bit, as you see right there. It makes for a nice, it makes for a nice screw to put in, and it goes in plenty far. This has got a nice tip too that you don't usually have to pre-drill. Here's first screw in the beginning of your board. Here I have it on, you can see it. I put it into the end board. Don't put it in the fabric, it's just going to twist around, so go ahead. Of course, this part can be done before you put your fabric down. So put it on your first and at the end, so that you make sure it's all squared up where you want it to be, and then put a few in between, every 8 to 12 inches apart. I also have my drill backup battery charging. If you don't have a second battery for your drill, or if you're looking to buy a drill, make sure that you get one that has a backup battery. This one's a halfway decent drill. I bought some for my kids that I like a little better. I'll get you the name of that. My green roof is almost done. I just have the ends to do, and then I have to consider where I want the draining to take place. Probably on either end again, so it doesn't drip on anybody when you sit on the bench. I'm measuring just to be sure there's no warping of these boards, this treated lumber, from the bottom, and I see it's 25 1/4. That's what I'll cut my wood to, and that way, if there is any bowing on the end of these boards, they look really straight. And I watched the lumberyard worker pick up my boards and gave my thumbs up as he selected my boards and loaded my car for me. But I'll still want to check and make sure everything's square and nice. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching and learning a few tricks from amateur woodworker who's been passionate about it for many years. Product. Got the board on top, elevated the front a little bit more, 15 degrees would have been plenty. Got a little support in the back, places to hang the wiener roasting stuff, the fire turning stuff,